We lost to you guys one time in Bloomington. We got off the bus and had to come and practice when we got back.
Podcast where we don't do it for clicks, likes, or views. We do it for the love of the game. Today's guest, Peoria college basketball legend, true competitor on every level he's ever touched. Let me break it down for you real quick. Peoria Richwoods graduate, 3-time All-State selection, 4-time All-Area selection, 1996 Journal Star Area Player of the Year, 1996 Parade Magazine and McDonald's All-American, 1996 Gatorade Midwest Player of the Year. He scored 2,944 points, which was 7th all-time when he graduated in the state of Illinois history. Attended Purdue University, where he helped lead the Boilermakers to 2 Sweet 16s and a Big Ten championship and an Elite 8 appearance. Finished in the top 10 in rebounds and games played. Had a successful overseas career in Argentina. As a coach, he led South County High School to a Class 6 state championship and was recently inducted into the Greater Peoria Sports Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't need any more introduction. This is Mike Robinson Jr., my brother. What's up, man? How are you?
Man, I'm hanging in there, man. You made me just feel real old, though. I appreciate it, but you made me feel real old.
You got to hear that type of stuff, man, because you get busy in life and you forget. People walk by you like you didn't just do all of this that you accomplished in your career, and it should be celebrated. So, from a competitor and from a friend standpoint, man, I just want to give you flowers and recognize you as an all-time great, a person who made me elevate my game to a level that I didn't even know I could elevate my game to, because we was trying to chase you and the things that you were accomplishing in our time. So just want to thank you for being that motivation and being a legend from the city of Peoria.
I appreciate it, man. I always say, you guys may have been chasing me, but I was chasing ghosts. My father was great, so I was chasing him since I was born. And, growing up in the gym with the Curtis Stuckeys and the Jameer Jacksons and the Howard Nathans with my dad going over the scrimmage and them, I got to see David Booth close up and all those guys close up. So, you guys may have been chasing me, but I was also chasing them. So we all had a goal in mind to chase. And what made it beautiful is, we grew up around the same neighborhood. So, we were just competitors. And, as a coach now, I try to tell my kids, man, you only got one job, and that's just to compete. You compete that takes care of everything else.
But before we get started, man, quick hitters. I want to know who your top 4 shooters of all time, who you got.
It's pretty easy, though. Pretty easy. Steph Curry, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen. 4 can go either way, but being from Illinois,
yep.
I'm a big Craig Hodges fan.
And you can't go wrong with Craig Hodges, 3-time 3-point champion. So you can't go wrong with that.
I'm a big Craig Hodges fan.
Absolutely. That's what we grew up on. I understand that completely. But and as a coach, which one of these 4 players, down 2, needed 3, are you drawing up a play for?
It's either Steph Curry or Reggie Miller.
Ooh.
It's between them two. I mean, because, I still got to go Steph Curry. I hate, everybody, this young generation, my players, everybody think I'm just so old school and we just got to stick with her. But I tell them all the time, we is greatness. Steph Curry is great because he's different. So I still would say Steph, but Reggie Miller's right there because I know it's a big shot. He's going to hit it.
Man, you can't go wrong with either one. So that's how we get our podcast going. Shooters gonna shoot. Let's start from the beginning. From your perspective, what are your earliest memories of growing up in the city of Peoria?
My family. Yeah, it starts with my family. The Lindsays, we had a huge family with 11 uncles and aunts on one side, my mother's side, and every one of my uncles had a bunch of kids. So I've always had somebody to play with. I grew up in a basketball family, so I knew nothing but basketball. And, it was fun, growing up in the house. You know, everybody played. My older cousins played, so I'm chasing them as well. Especially when I get to high school, I'm playing against my uncle on the bench with you. My Uncle Calvin's coaching you. It was always something. So,
Yep.
Peoria to me is family. I still got a
Mhm.
bunch of cousins. I still got a billion cousins there, and I
Yeah.
talk to them every day still. And, I think of Peoria in the early days as family. Going meeting up at my grandmother's house, going on a telephone pole with the crates, knocking the bottom out the crates, hanging the crates up, hanging from the crates on the telephone pole in the driveway of my grandma's house, and it started there. The love of the game started there with my cousins being competitive with them. The next,
Mhm.
it started with three of us. Then,
Yep.
two other kids from there that, you know, kids from down the street that come in. Next, we got a 4-on-4 basketball game, half court in the driveway. So it all started all started there. That was like the alarm, just bouncing the ball outside. You bounce it, they will come. So, you know, that's where it started.
Your mom recently passed, God bless.
Mhm.
What impact did she have on you as you started to move towards competing in the game of basketball?
She was my everything. Like, to
Mhm.
this day, she's
Yep.
still my everything. I believe I got my competitive genes from her, because she wouldn't let me win in nothing. I mean,
Right.
nothing. Uno.
Your mom hooped?
Oh, she wouldn't hoop. She would play horse every now and then. But when I got old enough where she couldn't beat me on horse, she would never play me. But when
Right,
you're little,
right.
she beat you, and she ain't playing you no more. She did that. Just the competitiveness and just teaching me how to be competitive. I was a sore loser because if she beat me, I'm crying, and whether it was Pac-Man, me and her playing Pac-Man in the house on the Atari system, or
Mhm.
Tetris, she would beat me, and she just wouldn't let me win in nothing. My mother and your mother would play. I remember they would play softball together.
Oh, absolutely.
They would
Yeah,
play
the Blue
softball
Note.
together. Yeah, absolutely. They'll play
Blue Note
softball
and
together.
Gladys Knight.
Yeah. They'll play softball together, and you can see that's where we got it from, that competitiveness. And they'll be out there playing,
Mhm.
and boy, they'll be out there. They talk more trash than we did. So that's where it all started right there. She taught me how to compete. From day one. I can tell you that no matter what I went through, she never was one to say, "Hey, I need to go talk to your high school coach, your middle school coach," or if someone going right, she didn't. She was never on the side of the coach. It was always me. When I played for my uncle at Tree Win, he didn't play me. My uncle didn't play me, so my mother never complained to my uncle. Never said, "Put my son in the game." She's like, "Yeah, you got to get
Mhm.
better. You got to
Yep.
get better." Right now, she would tell me you're no good. And it was hard criticism because I wasn't good at the time. But I kept working, and honestly, she never really gave me the approval that, you always look for, because she always told me I can do more. Whether it was in a classroom or wherever, she made me compete.
So we're kind of a Voltron from our parents. You kind of mentioned your dad was a superstar player here in the city of Peoria as well. Your mother was an ultra competitor. Which personality trait did you take from each parent that contributed to you becoming a player that you became?
Well, you can probably attest to this. For my father, I I was a little bit of an asshole for a while on the court. I was a little bit of an asshole on the floor, because it was just his competitive nature on the floor where, you go to the gym and you watching him play, and he's so competitive, and he's saying some words that you probably shouldn't say to people on the floor. And, as a kid, you kind of picking that up, and, you kind of mimic your parents, and you kind of mimic. And so I started picking up some of those traits. Not good, but some of those traits did come in handy on the floor when it came into competing. But, he was very competitive.
Mhm.
uh like the drive, like to this day, he works out, and he would, do his run. And so all those, the work ethic, I really picked up on his work ethic, never taking days off, especially understanding how to take care of your body. Once I got a little older, those are the same things that he used to do. And so his work ethic, I took after him. And My mom,
Mhm.
between that and my mom's competitiveness gene, I was just, that kind of took me over the top.
Right. Makes complete sense. Do you remember the first time you actually picked up a basketball?
AJ, I can honestly tell you, I don't remember not picking up a basketball. So I can't even tell you the first time I picked one up because I think I was born with one. I don't remember the first time. I just remember always being around basketball my whole life. You know, whether it was I was going to, as a kid, I was going to the Manual Central games, even when,
Right.
my cousin Clint wasn't even playing. Because my dad and, Coach Wayne McLean were really good friends. So I
Yep.
was always going to the Manual Central games with them and even hanging out with Serge all the time. You would be on the Central bench, me and Serge would be on the Manual bench all the time. so we were always so we will always do that, but it's just kind of fitting. I went to Richwoods, but that's another story
Yep.
between going to the gym with Coach McLean and
Mhm.
those guys that that was it.
Looking back though, what do you attribute to you becoming a really good basketball player? Because nowadays kids have trainers and they're going 1v0. What was your development like as a kid?
My imagination, right?
Yeah,
My
yeah, I like that answer.
imagination.
Yep.
I was able to watch Magic Johnson or watch somebody, the James Worthy footwork or something, and see it. I was a student, so I would be able to go to the gym, go to the court outside by myself and do some and try to mimic those things and just allow
Yep.
my imagination to take over. That's what we had as our imagination because we didn't have a cell phone. We didn't have a
Hmm.
realistic video game in front of us. So my imagination and my dreams took me where I needed to go. Growing up, the first thing I wanted to do was play in the field house.
Right. Yep.
You walk in
Hmm.
the house, man, your central game, you see 6,000-7,000 people in at the field house, and you're like, man, I can't wait to play in this. So, I attribute a lot of my success to my imagination.
That's a great answer because it's a complete contrast to what the masses think is essential for getting better. You choose to go to Richwoods in high school as a freshman. Now your family went to Peoria High. You just talked about being on a bench with Manuel and Serge and Coach McLean. What went into that decision to say, you know what, I'm gonna flip it on everybody and I'm going to Richwoods?
Two things, AJ, and this is the honest to God truth. One, be my own man.
Hmm.
I wanted to be my own man. My dad went to Woodruff. Clint,
Yeah.
Clinton, those guys, my first cousin, love him to death.
Yeah.
He went to Manual.
Mhm.
And, I wanted to walk in my own footsteps. I didn't want to go behind Clint. I didn't want to go behind anyone. I wanted to build my own legacy, you know, for me. The second reason was me and Khalif was like best friends.
Right.
Me
Hmm.
and Khalif would hung out together, play basketball together. Every day me and Khalif was together. So it was one of those things where I felt comfortable going there with him. And then I also built a really good relationship with Coach Hamilton over the time. He put a lot of trust in me. He made me feel like a part of Richwoods. I would go to the open gyms. I felt good being there. Like this was the right decision. I love you guys at Central, and I love Sergio and those guys at Manual. But I felt
Mhm.
different. Like I felt like Richwoods could be mine or be me. I just wanted to go somewhere where I didn't have to be compared to Clint, be compared to Galen, or be the next David Booth or any of that. I just wanted to be me, because in the back of my mind, I wanted to beat my dad's scoring record. You know, that
Right.
was that was a goal of
Mhm.
mine,
Mhm.
and I felt comfortable at Richwood
Before you got to Rituals, where did this prolific scoring mindset come from?
because I was trash. Seriously, I worked hard. I worked really hard. I went to
Mhm.
Treatland, from
Mhm.
Treatland to Christ
Yeah.
Lutheran, and
Mhm.
and I just started getting better and better. But Christ Lutheran was the one school that really did it because you guys have no idea how competitive those practices were. With Brandon
Mhm.
Hughes, Sean, and it was a
Yeah.
group of guys. Jerry Hester, it was just a
Mhm.
group. I'm in sixth grade, we're traveling, and I'm not even getting off the bench there. So it was like, and I just kept getting pushed. And it was one of those things where I
Mhm.
just kept getting taller. And then I was kind of goofy, but then the coordination started to come, and then Coach Knapp, Terry Knapp kind of pulled me in, and then I started to, play pickup with some of the older guys, and I started seeing myself getting better. Then the belief was there. Once I started to believe, it was pretty much
It was over.
it was over
Mhm.
once I started to believe.
You choose Richwoods, play for the great Coach Wayne Hamilton. You started varsity from day one, which in the back in our time, there's only a select few that was able to start as a freshman and play against that level of competition. When you started, what do you remember about stepping in as a freshman? Who did you play against, and what were those games like battling against that competition as a freshman?
So I'm gonna let you know now. That was rough. That was rough. One night it was Bo Smith. The next night it was Jerry Hester. The next night it was Tyrone
Yeah.
Lee. The next night it was something.
Ooh.
That was rough as a freshman. It was rough. Then we're going up to Rockford
Mhm.
Boylan playing against, Lee Lampley and all those guys. It was rough. And
Mhm.
I averaged like 16, 17 as a freshman. But I kept getting better and
Yep.
better that whole year. And, as a freshman, I was just trying to fit in, because we already had Sean
Mhm.
Kimball and some of those guys that they just came off a second place state run. So I was just
Yep.
really trying to fit in. And then I went from fitting in to, man, my numbers getting called off a lot now. My plays getting called off a lot. Well, now they're going to me. And then I believe Sean guy was ineligible for like a couple weeks during that
Mhm.
season. And then next thing you know, we go to, I never forget, we went to Springfield to play against Springfield High. And I had 36 as a freshman. And I was just out there just playing. I wasn't thinking, I was just
Right.
playing. I remember
Mhm.
Kevin Gamble from the Celtics and all those guys were there. And I'm sitting there like,
Yep.
I'm just playing. And then that's when I knew I could really play, is when that game right there. And the game was on the line. They just coming to me. And I wasn't even thinking, I was demanding the ball as a freshman. And that's when I was like, okay, I can do this. And then, naturally playing AAU, playing against the Kobe Bryants, the sophomores, and the Tim Thomases. And then I'm coming back to Peoria saying, I just guarded Stephon Marbury last week. I know I can play out here. So it was one of those things where it was able to translate. That's when AAU, when you went away for a weekend, you went
Yep.
you went through the fire. It was no mom and pop
Yes,
tournament.
you did. Yeah. Wasn't
It was
it?
fire. And then when you come back, it's like,
Right.
Ivan and Brandon, I love you guys, but I just got to guarding Jermaine O'Neal on a few switches this weekend. I think I can guard y'all.
I think I got this.
Yeah, I think I got this one. So but that was the belief, and my coaches that I had, they instilled in me, like they trusted me to do a lot early, and then I was blessed to play against with
Mhm.
some really good guys in AAU as well. That whole AAU team went D1. From Sean Hamlin to Northwestern to Matt Moran to Nick Knapp to Marcus
Mhm.
Mason to Gary Bale to, Micah Osborne went to Siena, J.R. Koch went to Iowa. I was blessed to play with a bunch of great guys and talented guys. So we pushed each other in practice. We
Mhm.
would battle every day in the summer. So it was good.
If anybody watched you play at that time, just as a competitor and as someone watching you develop and compete in that game, in those games, you were an aggressive offensive rebounder. I think, being able to rebound the way that you did was the first thing that kept you on the floor. Where did that ability to track down the basketball with the relentless pursuit that you did?
I wanted to score. And sometimes the easiest way to score, in my opinion, I try to tell my high school kids, now the easiest way to score is go get offensive rebound.
Go
Because
get the ball. Right.
everybody's looking at the ball. You
Mhm.
just got to go get it. My goal was to score 8 to 10 points a game on offensive rebound. So I would treat an offensive rebound like a defensive rebound. Like, let me get in position and go get this
Mhm.
rebound. And even when, and I knew some of my best games started slow, but it started off getting confidence by getting offensive rebounds and the M1s. And then next thing you know, the rim, the basket opens up and the rim gets a little bit bigger. And honestly, AJ, my father was a great offensive rebounder. So, watching him a lot helped me understand the game as well. So, I emulated that a lot with him.
No, that makes total sense. You were excellent at that. It was natural to you. So you eventually, you played 4 years of high school. You're all conference pretty much all 4 years. 3 years first team all conference. You develop and you start to round out your game. When did you feel that your game was starting to catch up with your offensive rebounding ability and you were becoming a well-rounded basketball player?
My sophomore year,
Mhm.
thanks to Coach Knapp, because he preached me shooting the three ball all the time. He was ahead of me. He was ahead of it. Like I would always turn down the three ball to put the ball on the floor and try to go get to
Mhm.
the rim. He would be in practice yelling at me like, "Shoot the damn ball, Mikey! Shoot the damn ball! There's gonna be 6'10s in there. You're not gonna get that." And I used to be in myself like, "Yo, I am not Nick Knapp," because Nick can shoot the hell out of it, right? And I am like, I am not Nick Knapp.
Mhm.
And then next, like, because he wanted me to shoot it so much, I was like, okay. So I remember as Coach Hamilton, I would call Coach Hamilton in the morning. So every
Mhm.
morning at like 10 a.m., I would go to Richwoods and just shoot, 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 shoot.
Mhm. Right.
Sam Duran was our manager. He would come up there with me just to rebound for me.
Right.
He would rebound for me because I would just shoot, shoot, shoot. And then we would get into games and practice, and boy, the three ball started feeling good. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
definitely.
oh, I can, then we start going to AAU tournaments and I'm shooting a three off the break. I would miss one. He'd be like, that's a great shot. I'm like, man, that was a terrible
Mhm.
shot, but all right. And so I would just keep shooting. And then I just got the confidence to shoot it. And then I will also say the one thing about the game that helped me propel was my confidence. Once a player confidence get to the point where you start to believe in yourself, it's pretty hard to guard somebody when he can kind of do what he wants and he's very confident. So on my bad nights, I knew I could
Yeah.
get going eventually because I'm not going to stop shooting. So once the three ball came into effect, and then my ball handling came, then I started to be able to create my own shots too.
Right.
Create my own shots off the dribble. And I started my mid range started to get a lot better. If I was shooting that floater before a lot of people were shooting it. I started getting that teardrop off because going against AAU, I remember playing against Jermaine O'Neal, and he was just so long. And I'm shooting a float. I'm trying to finger roll, and he's just catching it like, yeah. So I started saying, I got to get this up before he gets there. I started working on it all the time. Shooting a floater and just really studying the game. I just started studying it. But you guys pushed me so
Mhm.
much, though. I think we
Mhm.
all pushed each other. It wasn't one way. You guys pushed me, so much. Like we were so competitive. I love coming to Central Open Gyms. And even I knew I had a target on my back. I didn't care. I knew
Mhm.
when Mike would I would come in the gym and Mike is like, okay, I got to like the whole gym was
Yeah.
against me. I didn't care. I just wanted to hoop. I didn't care.
Yeah,
I
you
just wanted
you
to hoop.
you carried yourself that way, man. You you
Yeah.
you put the target on your back willingly,
Yeah.
and you came out, but you were also not afraid to come out despite putting the target on your back, still having all the accolades in the press. You always came out and competed. And in that time, iron sharpened iron in the city of Peoria. And no one gets sole credit for becoming who they became. We were all to a man out in the streets, out in each other's open gyms, competing against one another, watching each other, respecting each other every day though. And I think, young people think we exaggerate when we say that. Yeah, we
No,
are not exaggerating. Like we was out there every day.
we were like I looked up manual open gym is Monday, Wednesday, right? At 2, 3. I'm going to that first. Then Richwoods got ours is Tuesday, Thursday, and then ICC's is this day.
Mhm.
All right. Then we got the
Yep.
ICC Summit. We got the ICC Summit League. Who we got this weekend? Oh, we got Central. Oh, we got Manu. And we treated them things like a regular game. I would show up to Central Open Gym by myself. I didn't care. You
Nope.
know,
You
I
sure did.
I didn't care. I just wanted to go play. You know,
Right.
that's just who I was.
Mhm.
I would show up to manual open gym by myself. Uh,
Yep.
but when I showed up to Bradley to play, I need to come with 4 or 5. I need
Yep.
4 or 5 on me over
Exactly.
Bradley though, because you know,
Yeah.
that was a different animal. You know, you walk in there,
A different animal.
you see the Howard Nathan going up and down the court, you see
Mhm.
the Dave Booth, the GGs, and the Snakes. You gotta get on there with a good 5 because there's no side courts. It's just
Nope.
one main floor, and if you ain't good, you ain't getting on.
Mm.
And so it was one of those that you had to prove yourself every day, and that's what it was. Like, we had to prove ourselves, but we also respected each other though too.
Mhm.
During the season, we didn't like each other. We would show up at the landmark bowling alley. While I look at you guys ready to fight. It's just how it was, but we respected each other. It was just one of those things because we all had a chip on our shoulder because we all wanted to do something. And you know, and we respect each other even more now because of it. Because we realized we made each other who we were and we put each other where we are now. And that says a lot, you know, especially thinking about the basketball that came out that at that time.
Golden era.
Boy,
Golden era.
and it was and you think about it, there was no bad nights. Like it was no games where you can say, oh, we just playing Woodruff. Well, Woodruff had 2 D1s and Marcus Mason and Nick Nash. Yeah, you know, you mess around play Galesburg, they had Jory Range and Cheyenne Hammond, you with 2 D1s on there. You go to Morton, you got J.R. Cott. You go to Pekin, you play Pekin, you got Matt Moran. So it was like, you know, then like, oh, we got Springfield High. Oh, we got Tyrone Lee, Shelby Roberson, and they had 3
Yeah.
D1s. You get turn
Yeah.
around, you got Springfield Lanford, they had 4 of them. So it
Exactly.
was
Yeah.
like there was no nights off. The only night that we might have had off was
Mhm.
Springfield Southeast at the time.
Southeast. And they
That
had one D1. I
Yeah,
forgot
they
his
had
name, Chris.
one. So it was like there was no days off, and you know there was only one. And hell, we went to overtime with Notre Dame one game.
Oh no, you go play in that little box, boy.
Yeah,
You might come.
we went to overtime with Notre Dame one game in that on that Cracker Jack box. It was no nights off,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't change it for the world now because of and now you watch basketball now. Even I'm coaching it, and it's not the same because these kids are all friends with everybody. They don't have that same drive that we had where the best player on the other team, they liked them. I couldn't wait to hit you with a damn screen or or fire the hell at you one time. As soon as we fire the hell out, you raised your hand to the referee. Yeah, I got him. It was me. I don't you bring your ass in here no more.
You're right. You
It
know
was one.
what I attribute that to AAU. That's what I was finna go into next. I want to talk to you about your AAU experience. I talked to Quentin Richardson in one of my first episodes, and he really paid homage to you because he said when he was a kid, he came into the Illinois Warriors program, and you were the guy that he first looked at and saw that had kind of a superstar aura to him. When he saw you, he was like, "That's what I wanted," and I was going to do everything I could do to try to get that. And I wanted you to reflect. You kind of talked about Air Illinois with Terry Knapp, Nick Knapp, and those guys. Talk about your AAU experience and the guys in our class that you had to prove that you were on the same level as or better than.
When I left Air Illinois, I went
Mhm.
to the Illinois Warriors with, you know, Quentin Richardson. He was on the younger team, but I played with the
Either
Brett
yep.
Bookers and
Mhm.
the Sean Lampleys of the
So,
world and Melvin Eli and some of those guys, right? So now I go there and everybody looking at me like, hey, you one of the top 1 or 2 players in the state. And you can know that look like, let me see if this dude can actually play like this, right? Let me see. There's a lot of talk about this Peoria dude. Let me see. And
mhm.
like you said, iron sharpen irons. You know, I knew who I was because I played against you guys a lot. So now it was me carrying my same attitude to them and letting them know who I was.
Right.
And from day one, I went out and made a name just to let them know, hey, this is who I am. And,
Yep.
the same way I carried myself in Peoria, I carried myself in Chicago. I
Mm.
was going to talk my trash and be that guy. And so
Yep.
I really wanted to set the example that Larry Butler, who was at the time one of the biggest Adidas gurus and
Yes,
basketball
sir.
pundits in Chicago, who he had a
Mhm.
lot of faith in me because at the time he was ranking me higher than Ronnie Fields.
Absolutely. Yep.
So now that meant
Yeah.
a lot. And when you rank number one over Ronnie Fields, boy, I'm going to Chicago on the weekends. I got a target on my back. So it was one of those when you walk in, you in Chicago, it's standing room only in the gym.
Yep.
So I couldn't go up there and be shy away from it because I'm supposed to be the headliner. And so when I walked in there, I treated myself like that, like, hey, I'm
Mhm.
here to bring it. And I put the pressure on myself
Mhm.
so I could get used to those situations. And honestly, it was easy compared to what I was going against with you guys on Fridays and Saturday nights. You guys would send 2, 3 at me. Up there, I'm only going against one. So I'm like, one person ain't gonna check me. So I don't care who you are, one person ain't gonna check me. And that's
No
how I pretty
chance.
much felt my whole life. One ain't gonna guard me because I'm used to seeing 2 to 3 in high school every night. So in
Mhm.
the AAU, one ain't gonna guard me. So I was able to have fun with the AAU because of that. By the time you realize that you might need to send someone, I already got 30.
Right.
So, that was those days. Those were the days.
Shout out Larry Butler. We all
Oh,
have played for the Illinois Warriors, man. He was the main cog in helping us develop our confidence in the Illinois Warriors program. I told him, I said, you need to make a documentary about the Illinois Warriors, man. If he's still
absolutely.
here, because that would be the amount of players on that list is phenomenal.
And it's so
And
funny. Everybody think the Mac Irvin Fire is just the Mac Irvin Fire. They don't understand that the
yeah,
Mac Irvin Fire came from Illinois Warriors. That started it. It just branched off to the Mac Irvin Fire. But Illinois Warriors started everything. Thanks to Mac Irvin though.
yeah,
Because
shout out.
Mac and was behind it. Was behind all of it. And then once he got behind me, that's when I met the Sonny Vaqueros of the world and
Yeah.
that's when I would go to ABCD with the Kobe's and of the world and was like, man, this is different. And it was a great experience because Mac really put me under his wing and the Irvins did. I played with Nick. I played with Nick, even though Nick ass didn't want to pass the ball too much. It,
That's how everybody lead talking about Nick. Oh,
oh
that's the
boy,
one they will never pass, man. That's
I thought
like,
I
dang.
was bad. I'm like,
No,
man,
you
like I
Nick
met
Irvin was
somebody worse
different.
than me.
Yeah, Nick
But
Irvin was different because he would dribble. He played like they play today. Like that's how he played. Like 8 dribbles to a shot.
Nick came out today.
Yeah,
Nick would be in the league right now because
he been
he would
NBA.
fit right on in.
Definitely.
And he couldn't play then because he had, point guards and guards had to pass the ball a couple of times, and Nick wasn't passing.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. It wasn't even interested. Like it's
What
not even
at
not even
all.
an option.
Only
Yeah,
time, only time I shot is when Butler took him out.
exactly.
Like,
Shout
man,
out Nick Irvin.
let me go ahead and give me about 3, 4 shots up before he get back in.
Absolutely. My brother used to put it up, and that's who he was, man. Shout out Terry Knapp. Shout out Mac Irvin, Senior. Shout out Mac Irvin the third is carrying on the girl side of the Mac Irvin Fire. Mike Irvin is carrying on the boy side, and Larry Butler. Those 4 guys together had a major impact on our confidence as basketball players because they pulled us out of the Central Illinois, took us up north, and they put us in that pot and it's like, do work. And
And
that's
what
what we
people
did.
don't know is DePaul. I mean, I went to Purdue, but DePaul almost had me because of Byron, the other Irvin
Sure.
that was there.
Yep. Byron
So,
Irvin.
so I was considering because I had a great relationship with the Irvins, and Byron was there, so I thought about it.
You were a top 10 in your class, man. Our class consisted of guys like Tim Thomas, Mike Bibby, Jason Collier, Shaheen Holloway, Lester Earl, Jermaine O'Neal, Steven Jackson, and just that's just to name a few. But the number one player in our class was none other than Kobe Bean Bryant. I know at some point you and Kobe clash. You had to. Like, when was the first time you saw Kobe play, and describe playing against Kobe in high school?
So when I played against him, the first time I played against him, it was out in New Jersey. I did we played with Chicago. We came out there and played in the tournament, and they had Rip Hamilton. They had a few on that team. I'm like, this dude's like bouncing his head, just cocky as hell. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm about to give him 40. Well, I remember the first 3 plays. It was like he scored so easy, and then he's shaking his head, man, cocky. I'm saying, oh nah, hell no, it's not about to go this easy. And we ended up winning the game because we were loaded. We were loaded. But he finished with about 30, 36, 37. I had about 30 something. It got to the point where, thank God I had box work because my perimeter game with him was not working.
Right.
It wasn't
right.
working. I had to take him to the post.
Yeah.
And, I had to take him to the post, I remember, because I couldn't get around him. I remember I put the ball on the floor, like, guessed it. Like, as soon as I put it down, he guessed it and just took it. I said, oh, no. He made me switch it up. And then I
Absolutely.
remember I was out in Maryland, and I was playing with Brian Ward, the coach from Bradley. He was on that team that year, and we came out to
Yep.
Maryland. And we didn't play against him, but I just hadn't watched him one time. And I just said, yeah, man, he's different. Like, I was just watching, like, yeah, he's different. Like, and then I remember, man, I have so many stories, like, in the McDonald's, that McDonald's game. Like, we practiced against each other every week, or the whole week, and it was just a battle. Like, he's going at it. Like, this dude is so competitive. Like, I thought I was competitive. Like, practice over, he's trying to play the whole gym in one-on-one, and he's trying to let you know I'm the best player in the country. And I'm trying to celebrate just being a McDonald's All-American. This dude out here trying to show everybody, like, I'm the one.
Um,
Yeah, like, and it was just different. Like, he was different then. And we knew. There's not a player that played in that game that can say different. We knew who he was then. So it was great, like, looking back on it now, just to be on the same floor with him, played against him. It was just one of those that, we're just happy to be a part of his legacy.
God bless the dead Kobe Bean Bryant, but that 1996 class, Kobe Bryant, Ronnie Fields, Mike Robinson, Lester Earl, Shaheen Holloway, Mike Bibby, Tim Thomas, Mason Collier, Steven Jackson, Cleaves. You were one of only a few that from Peoria to ever play in a McDonald's All-American game, and that just to be listed in that group of players at that time is to be studied, because it doesn't get any more competitive than that. So salute to you.
You're right, but you're wrong as well.
Okay.
Because I still believe my most competitive days ever was at Proctor Center playing against the great GGs of the world, the Mimis, the Lynn Collins, and just them coming back from college, and the Mike Greers and everybody, even coming, Tony Weisinger would even get out there at Carver and play with us. And those are the days. That's the basketball I remember, because that's the basketball that made us. I'm no McDonald's All-American. I don't go to Purdue without them, with the Curtis Stuckeys, because up until then, you named at the beginning of the podcast, we named 4 shooters. Those are 4 shooters now that I didn't know, but the best shooter I've ever seen was Curtis Stuckey. Growing up, and then
Stuckey, right?
and then Mike Hughes was a damn good one too from Central. I grew up watching them. Those are the guys we chase, that I chased.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I'm glad you're taking us down that trip, because that's why we do it, man. We want to get those guys their flowers, help them understand. It's like, I don't like to compare. I like to appreciate. It's because without them, there's no us. And even
Absolutely.
though our era was one of the best, it really just started from them. It
A-
started from watching them play, being that fifth man that needed to play when we was young, and we had to go out there and play a role. They tell you guard your man and don't shoot till we tell you to. Then you get open, you knock it in. Now you one of the guys. So man, shout out to all those guys that you named.
Those guys, I feel that they made us who we
Mhm.
were, and that's what I remember. And people talk about the good old days of the Purdue days
Mhm.
and the McDonald's All American. I remember those days, the
Mhm.
days those games that were not taped. We were
Yep,
just outside
man.
playing.
Yeah.
Those were the days you come home, my whole shirt dirty. My mom tells me, boy, just go straight to the shower.
Yep.
And that's what I remember. Every time I come home, I come back to Peoria and we talk basketball. That's what I remember. I
This,
don't
I
remember
agree with that, man.
all, the hoopla and stuff. I remember the grind, just trying to be a part of the
Mhm.
legacy of Peoria basketball.
Through that grind, man, you become one of the most highly recruited players in Peoria basketball history. You got a lot of schools after you. When every school in the country is calling you, what does that do for your confidence? How did you narrow it down and get to the schools that you got to pick from?
AJ, I'm gonna tell you the honest to God truth. The recruiting process wasn't that hard for me because I committed to Purdue as a
Mhm.
freshman.
Oh,
So
really? I didn't know
yeah,
that.
people didn't know that I committed as a freshman. I knew
Hmm.
where I wanted to go, and
Hmm.
that's where I wanted to go. Did I choose wrong? Nah, because I'm good. I'm happy. But I wanted to go to Purdue. I lived out by Richwoods. I stayed with my grandma 6 days out of the week. So nobody had grandma phone number. Yeah, they calling my house out there, but I'm staying with grandma. A couple of schools did get slick and found out the number and stuff. Like I remember Joey Myers called me from DePaul. Northern Richardson got through. Your boy, what's the name? Ron Fales from Indiana.
Ron Felling. Yep.
Yeah, Ron Fales from
Yep.
Indiana. He got through one time. So he, a couple of schools there, but did get through. But God bless Frank Kendrick, the assistant at Purdue. Uh, we built a great relationship when I was in high school, and that meant a lot to me. Building that relationship with him, and along the way of building a relationship with the Conzo Martins, who I still talk to a lot, the Glenn Robinsons, the Brandon Brantley, who's an assistant coach there. Like those guys took me under the wing, made me family from day one. So it was easy. Like
Yep.
I felt at home at Purdue. It was an easy choice for me, and it was close. It was only a 3-hour drive from Peoria, so I needed that.
Right.
Coming from a big family, I needed that because I wasn't going to Illinois.
Why was Illinois not a choice for you?
I don't know if I should be telling this story. We had open gym at Richwoods, right?
Hmm.
We had open gym at Richwoods. And Lou Henson came to the gym because he was looking at Sean Kimball. I'm in the gym I'm going to be a ninth grader. And
Mm.
I remember Coach Hamilton tried to introduce me to Lou Henson, right? Hey, come and say hi to
Yep.
Coach Lou. He looked at me and said, I'm not here for him.
Wow.
I'm here for Sean or whatever. And Coach Hamilton was like, no, you really might want to
Right.
talk to him. And Lou was like, nah, I'm not here for him.
Mm.
So from that moment on, I never was going to Illinois.
Yeah.
Because that kind of hurt
Okay.
my
Well,
feelings a little bit. I'm like,
absolutely. Yeah.
I'm never. And so like a year, not even a year later,
Hmm.
the assistant Jimmy Collins was
God bless.
was
Yep.
trying to call Coach Hamilton like, yo, we need to get him to a game. We need to get him to a game. And then Coach Hamilton flat out said, I think Lou dropped the ball on this one, so you're not gonna get him. But Jimmy stayed, reaching out trying to get me. But yeah, after that incident with Lou Henson, I was never going to Illinois.
Well, that solves that problem. Your freshman year at Purdue, get on campus. What adjustments did you have to make to play in the Big Ten?
What? First of all, it was a life adjustment too. It just wasn't an on the court adjustment. It was a life adjustment. Being on your own, being from Peoria, college campus open all the time, and the temptations to do wrong, not go to class on time, and so you had to grow up. And thank God I played for Coach Katie, somebody who stayed by me through my ups, my downs, the ins, outs. He stayed with me as a young man and really turned me into a man. People always
Mhm.
ask me, why did you stay at Purdue? Because I had a coach that made me a better person. It just wasn't about basketball. He made me a better man. That was an adjustment. But as far as basketball, there's the strength. Goodness, I tell everybody the first game in the Big Ten I've ever played, and I broke my ribs. I got my ribs cracked. First game ever. I went up for a rebound at Illinois. First Big Ten game ever. Chris Game, he
Mhm.
went up and he cracked me in the side. Boy, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. Like I remember we used to go to the weight room, like we ate weights. In high school, I went into the weight room every now and then.
You're right, yeah.
And in college it became breakfast, it became lunch, it became dinner.
Mhm.
And when you finish, you take this supplement with you. It was a big adjustment, the strength,
Mhm.
and the speed, because now I go from being one of the strongest and physical to now, especially playing against, like, for example, playing against you guys in Indiana,
Right.
and
Mhm.
that damn secondary you guys ran, the flare screen would turn into a pin down, and the 6'10"
Yeah.
hitting you every damn time.
Man,
And
murder
you
you,
like,
yep.
so you're getting hit in transition, so you're just constantly getting hit. So, it took some adjusting, keeping your head on the swivel, and because, you know, it was physical.
I think you did an excellent job of, as you were adjusting to the game, is falling back on what you do best, and that's play hard, that's defend, and that's rebound, and that kept you on the basketball court as you continue to develop your skills. So, I
Heck,
mean, that's part of it. Everybody's the man when they come out of high school. We
oh,
all were the man. You know what I'm saying? But when you come into a program like Purdue or Indiana, and they have a system, and the system works, you better find a way to to
you
to,
gotta
to
find a way because
contribute.
they're not going to change a winning system just for you.
Yes, absolutely.
So, and Purdue actually
Yeah,
won like 4 Big Ten championships before I
yeah,
got there. We
right.
not changing this for you.
Yeah,
It
what do you think
works.
this is?
So it
That's
worked.
fact.
And so, but I didn't care. I was happy. You know,
Absolutely, yeah.
I was home. And we went from hating each other to couldn't wait to see each other in pregame warm-ups, to shake each other's hand, and give each other a hug and talk. Hey, how you doing? How this doing? We couldn't wait. Can't lie. The only ones I really didn't do that to was Illinois. I still couldn't stand them for Manual. I ain't gonna lie. But as we got
Mhm.
older, that all went away. You look up, you see four of them from Manual in Illinois, you still hate them.
Exactly. Yeah, no,
So, but
that never went away at that time. We was prevalent in the Big Ten. Sean Hanlon, we had
Mhm.
me at Indiana, we had J.R. Koch at Iowa, we had, I think even Matt Moran was at Northwestern for a spell. We had Serge and Frank and Marcus. Then you go
Brand
up north, you got Vershaw at Wisconsin.
was at
Brandon Hughes
Michigan.
was at Michigan. So I mean, we was filling up the Big Ten.
Yeah.
You look forward to games because you was going to get to see somebody, and you knew what they were going through. You knew their life had changed. You knew that the work they was doing was like they never done before, and you just wanted to show love because you wanted, hey man, keep going, keep
Boy,
pushing,
I
man.
understand one day you're playing on CBS against Indiana, Michigan State. The
Yeah,
next day you're in the lab trying to finish this 15-page paper. We didn't have AI to help us out. You know, We sitting there and just like upset. We was more upset doing this
absolutely.
15-page paper than we was getting hit by a screen. And people don't understand that. Then you like, man, I got to study hard. I got to get to for 2 hours. I'm tired. My body hurt.
Yep.
And I go
Yep.
back to Purdue now, and I'm like, you spoiled suckers.
Yeah. Yep.
You
Spoiled to death, man.
Boy, y'all spoiled. Y'all just don't know.
You
Round the
lucky.
clock treatment, round the clock this. You,
Food in the locker
food.
room, training table, chefs cooking food, online classes. Like we had to go to class. I never forget
Hey,
we got y'all beat us by like 20 at Purdue. My first game at Purdue, and the next day we had to go to class. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, we get in, you sat and made us watch film. on this ass whooping for about 4 hours, and then we got to get up and go to class. Then we got to come back and practice 2 or 3 times. I'm like, what? How are we gonna survive this?
And then that was back in the day where it snowed 12 inches and we still had to go to school. And it was like, man, it's too damn cold to be walking in this damn class. And you look at your roommate, which was the player, like, you going to class today? You was hoping he was going to say no. So you're like, I ain't going either. But then you're like, yeah, I'm going. So you should get up and go. Because after a loss, I don't know about you guys, after a loss,
Mhm.
that's when our coaches would really check and see if we went to class, just to, just looking for something to get us.
Everything you did was highlighted after a loss. The way you came in the locker room, what you said, what you was wearing that day.
With this ass whooping we just got.
Yeah. Hey, man, exactly. Now that's when we was true student athletes. The Indiana Purdue rivalry. Do you think it gets enough credit?
Well, no, because
Mhm.
they don't understand by not being in it. Like when we played you guys, AJ,
Mhm.
nobody could wear red and walk in the office. Like it didn't happen. You couldn't wear red. I remember Coach Kendrick be like, "Hey, go take that shit off." And I'm like, "Oh man,
Mhm.
you gotta." You remember that we had the 11s, the Jordans, or the 12s. They were red at the time, the red side. They made us take our shoes off before we came into the office. It was Indiana week. We could not wear nothing red. Like we lost to you guys one time in Bloomington.
Mhm.
We got off the bus and had to come and practice when we got back off the bus.
Yeah, I'm saying Jesus because the same thing happened to us.
Yeah, like I can tell you, we played Minnesota one time. We lost. We got our butt whooped up in Minnesota. This is when they had Bobby
Mhm.
Jackson
Bobby Jackson, Eric
and all those
Harris,
guys.
and
Yeah,
Quincy
and
Lewis. Mhm.
we got off the bus. We got to the plane. We had pieces waiting for us, getting off the bus to get on the plane to eat our pizzas on the plane. And we not one player got that pizza. That man threw all those pizzas in the trash. We did not get not one of those pizzas. And
Uh-huh.
not only that, we got off the plane and went straight to the gym and said, "Be in the gym in a half an hour and tape." It was
Dang.
like, man,
Hey, when you hear Tate, hey,
oh,
that's like,
it was like, God,
yeah, man.
this is gonna be rough right here.
Yeah. Anytime you hear that word, boy.
Oh,
Hey, and we want them taped. That
oh,
was the main thing you asked your trainer. We taping today? Now you got to get yourself mentally prepared for
oh.
what's about to happen.
And then that's when as a like, I'm not. That's when I first heard the phrase, "You got to trick your mind." That's when I first heard you got to trick your mind from the older
Mhm.
guys, Chad Austin and Brad Miller. Hey, fella, you got to trick your mind. And
Mhm.
I was like, man, I can't trick this, man. My body hurt. I'm tired. I'm hungry. Because you threw my pizza away. I ain't ate. You want me to go play basketball?
We could file charges today.
Oh, we
Like,
can file charge. Hey, what about the days where they would have us sign the voluntary weight things that we used to sign saying it was voluntary? I'm like, when nothing about this voluntary. Like, I used to get so mad signing that thing like it wasn't voluntary. Like, no, you practiced this over the limit this week. And now
Mhm.
I can tell you, boy. Oh,
Oh man, that's hey, we share the same stories, man. Because when we lost to y'all in 1997 at Purdue, Brad Biller and them was flexing and throwing Andre and them around and tossing us. I mean, it wasn't even a game. It was the loudest I've ever witnessed on a basketball court. Like I've never heard anything that loud today.
this day when we played Indiana at Indiana or at Purdue, we were just playing because we couldn't hear the coach. We didn't hear not one
Nope,
play that was called. We didn't hear nothing.
nothing, nothing.
It was nothing. They can be even in the timeout. The crowd was still going crazy. He's drawing. We can just look and see what he's drawing up. Okay, where am
Yep,
I? So I know what to do because we
right.
couldn't hear him. We could not hear
Yeah.
him.
These are facts, man. Like
Man,
these are facts. It was just like a roar in my ear,
yes,
man.
we
I'm just
could not hear
looking
him.
at Brad. It's like when you getting your ass kicked, the court seems so small. Like it's like people everywhere, man. I'm coming off and I'm like, damn, like is it eight people? I just remember we lost that game. We drove back to Bloomington and we had to practice that morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. We had and every turnover was a sprint. We playing 3-on-3 full court. This is when I realized, because I didn't know, but this is when I realized how important this game was.
Oh,
I mean, I've been in rivalry games, Manual Central, all that, but
nah,
this was like what he made us do. We should have filed charges
nah,
for. Like, I ain't even lying. This is no exaggeration. Our captains was crying. We running sprint like, and I'm a freshman, and Mike, I'm like, damn, man, I think I might need to get up out of here.
oh,
Like, this this ain't right.
we lost to you guys. Y'all let us have it down there one time. It was like, yo, the bus was quiet. I mean, we lost to you guys one time, and we was like ranked in the top 10. We
Yeah.
came down there and y'all let us have it. Me and Brad Miller took the brunt of that practice that day. I never
Yeah.
forget. Oh, it was. I didn't have a good game down there, and I was just getting frustrated. I remember because your boy was flopping, and I just couldn't. Luke Record
Yeah.
was flopping, and
Falling all over the place.
couldn't stand it. I ran. If I ran, he just jumped in your way and fell down. So I'll pick up an offensive foul by him. And so it was just a bad night. And then he came. I remember I played against at Mackey was a different story because he didn't get away with all that flopping up there. But
No, he couldn't. No, he didn't play well. His junior year, he played. His sophomore year, he played good, but other games he didn't play well because he couldn't get away with all that stuff.
nah, that flopping. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I
Mm.
do remember that.
That's how I gauge how good you are when you guys are able to come down there into Bloomington and win. Because I know we be cheating. After my freshman year, I realized the teams that beat us here, these are Final Four level teams. Because you got to overcome all this influence that Coach Knight had on
Oh,
officials.
but
Like, I
him
mean,
and
they were scared to
GK,
death of
yeah.
this dude.
But I always tell people they were the same. They were cut from the same cloth. Like people always say, like during the game, how was Coach Katie? How was They always ask me about Bobby Knight. How was Bobby Knight? And I would say, man, I'm gonna let you guys know when the Purdue Indiana played. That was one of the few games that our coaches didn't yell at us because they spent the whole damn game yelling at the damn refs, seeing who can get the advantage on the refs. So they really didn't yell at us that game. They didn't really, our
Mm-hmm.
assistant coaches did most of the coaching because they were too busy yelling at the refs each game.
Yeah,
It was
trying to
like,
get an advantage.
yeah, and I remember we beat you guys on the last second shot one time down in IU, and
Me and Mike Lewis messed up a switch. Damn. Hey, I remember that. J. Cool, God bless, knocked it in.
yeah, and we couldn't even get to the locker room because your fans wouldn't even let us get off the floor. And it was that crazy. People don't understand like the rivalry. Like, boy, the
I
fans were so
mean,
mad. We had to sit in the locker room for a minute because the fans wouldn't even let us out of the locker room.
that's crazy.
Oh
That's
man,
crazy.
I never forget that one.
What great time. A lot of competitive games, man. You had a great game in the Big Ten tournament. And I tried to tell our coaching staff because their strategy was not to guard you. I said, man, I don't think y'all understand, man. Don't do that. He's a scorer at the core, that's who he is. I think you end up like 23-10. The thing that I tried to explain to them was it ain't about you shooting shots. It's about when you miss, it's a free lane for you to do what you do best. And that's go get it. Like, ain't no way Luke Record gonna be able to block you out, stand in the middle of the lane, and you coming full speed chasing any miss that comes off the backboard. And you beat us in the Big Ten tournament that day. I missed a game tying 3. Was your performance that helped y'all propel in that game?
And yeah, that I remember that. That was one of those I made all Big Ten tournament team in that tournament because I went on a run. I don't know.
Mhm.
Honestly, I don't know why they did that because leading up to that, I was averaging like 17, 18, like the five,
Right.
6 games going into that game. And so, because Jerron
And you
Cornell was
historically
hurt.
had good games against us. That's what
Yeah.
I didn't understand. You historically, you never like 28 but you always was 15-10, 18-9, 16. Man, those are excellent games. So why would y'all think he's the dude, not the guard? Like, yeah, I ain't understand that, man, and that was a big time failure on our coaching staff part.
I mean, we had Chad Austin and Brian Cardinal, Brad Miller that year. We had
Man,
some
y'all
players
had
that
not only y'all had players, y'all had experienced, tough players. Like that's the difference. To a man, you starting with Chad Austin, you starting with Alan Eldridge, you starting with Mike Robinson, Brian Cardinal, Brad Miller, McQuay brothers. All these ain't not one soft dude I just named. Like
no,
stop me when Jay Cool.
yeah,
Stop me when I say somebody that's soft. Like, come
no,
on,
we
man.
all. I mean, we practice hard too. Like Coach Katie, boy, he would say some
Mhm.
days, "Hey, man, get the gloves out." So like he would say, "Hey, get the gloves out. We got to fight today." And it was one of those days, man, where
Yeah.
you can't do that no more. But he built us. He built us to be tough. Like it was one of those things where, coming from Peoria, it didn't take much, just to flip that switch. But it didn't take
Mhm.
much. But we were tough, but you guys were so good too, though, man. I'll never forget. Charlie Miller was that good,
Yes,
and
he was,
he
man.
was that good, and I would, I would be guarding him, and he would have me beat, and he just wouldn't finish it
Yep.
for some reason.
He would. Yep.
And he would kick it out. I'm like, man, he had me. I was done. Like I was done.
Right.
Like he was that
Yep.
smooth, that good, and it was like, what in the hell is going on with this dude? Because there was
Yep.
nothing I could do. Like he was one of those guys who like his first step was explosive and quick,
Hmm.
and he was lefty and he was hard to guard. So whatever y'all did with him, I thank you. All my years of the Big Ten, he was one of the
Hmm.
hardest guys to guard.
He got in his head, and that's all it took. Like, not every player was built for that type of coaching, and it was a transition at that time of that type of coaching was kind
Yeah.
of like moving the other direction. We caught the last of it with Nike and Katie. You had a fantastic career at Purdue, great teammates, a legendary coach, big moments. Looking back, do you feel for your development and what you projected yourself to be, you made the right choice?
I won't take it back. Like, I don't take it back because of what I have now, because of my kids and my situation, my wife and the kids. I wouldn't take
Mhm.
it back. But of course, if I could go somewhere else that would fit my game, my tempo, that let me get out and just do me, play through certain mistakes or force
Mhm.
certain issues here and there, absolutely. I probably would have went to Arkansas or DePaul or somewhere that
Mhm.
just let me just be me.
Right.
But
Mhm.
like I said, I wouldn't take nothing away because I will say Coach K really turned me into a man
Yep.
and made me grow up. He didn't pacify me where he made it all about me. So I had to be a man and be a part of something.
You graduate in 2000. I'm sure your goal was to be an NBA basketball player. You expect to get drafted, didn't get drafted. What's going through your mind as you're starting to process where you are as a player and what do you do next?
I just got married. So my emotions are everywhere. Okay, maybe I go overseas. Maybe I go to camp. So I go to camp with the Sixers. I I I really see how the professional life is.
Right. Mhm.
I'm working hard, and that's when you hear the term "it's a numbers game,"
Yeah.
and you're
Yep.
like, "Yeah, it's BS," but it really is a numbers game because
Yeah.
there's 10 guaranteed contracts, and yeah, I know you came in here and you play better than a lot of people that's on the team, but that contract is guaranteed. We can't get rid of him. So that's when you start to understand the business of the game. Talent wise, should I have been in there? Absolutely. But it really does become a numbers game. And
Mhm.
but I will say this, I failed where I should have failed. I went to Italy, played over there, you
Mhm.
know, put up great numbers over there, went to Argentina, played there for 11 years. Really made a name for myself over there. I got back to, me shooting the ball every time I touch it and putting the numbers up and, getting comfortable again, playing the
Mhm.
game and also didn't lose the knowledge of the game that I learned at Purdue, but I also got back, some of the old mentality that I used to have. And that's why I was able to stick over there as long as I did and play for 11 years. in Argentina.
What was life in basketball in Argentina like? Why do you feel like you were so comfortable there? And from what I understand, you actually have an Argentine passport,
Yes, I do.
right?
I got
How many
my,
years did you play there, and why was that such a comfortable space for you?
it was, once you, my first 2 years in Argentina, my first year was rough because I didn't know the,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
smaller towns. I was homesick. But then the second year I went to a bigger city. I tell guys all the time, the first thing you do when you get to a city, stop thinking about the United States. Stop thinking. Because
Right.
there's
Yeah.
there's only one United States, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
turn your brain off and learn another culture. And so once I started to learn the culture and started to learn the language and just started to understand things, then it became so much easier. And the game
Mhm.
became easy, then life off the floor became easy because you learn how to communicate. The main thing you want to know what you're ordering to eat. It may not be like home, but I'm gonna get it close to, as close as I can to what I want to eat. We're gonna make
Exactly,
something up
right.
in this kitchen
You gonna
today.
make it work. Yeah.
You're gonna go to a restaurant. This is what I want right now. So
Yeah, yeah.
then it starts to get comfortable. Then the people starts to embrace you because you're putting up numbers, and people start to embrace you, and you start to learn.
Mhm.
So you open yourself up to the culture. And once you do that, then the transition becomes easy.
And you did that, becoming a citizen and etching your name in stone in Argentina. You retire and you decide to get into coaching. I have to admit, I never thought I'd see Mike Robinson roaming the sideline, dealing with kids. You was always solo. You hardly interacted with people. People thought you was arrogant, like and all this. But when you're a coach, you have to have the ability to socialize, ability to motivate. How did you get into coaching? Talk about that.
I- when I finished playing,
Mhm.
I'll never forget. This is a true story. My wife went behind my back and contacted Purdue to
Mm.
get me to go
Yeah.
back and finish my degree because I wasn't finished with my
Awesome.
degree.
Okay.
So while I was finishing my degree, I said, you know what? I finally I came home for Christmas and I was like, when you're done, like you
Yep.
stop getting excited about going to practice. You don't want to practice. You start coming up with excuses like why you don't want to practice today. Uh, we used to can look at another team and get ourselves going to play games. Well, I lost all of that. I still can play, but I just didn't have the desire to
Mhm.
go up and down anymore. And that's when I get a call from Coach Painter in Argentina, like, yo, you need to come on back, finish your degree, and come and help us out. And I'm like, you know what? I can stay around the game. I can go back to school, finish my
Mhm.
degree, and help out. And so I sit in the meetings at Purdue, and they welcome me with open arms, man. Like Coach Painter's a great dude. Like he helped, welcome me back. He had me running stuff in practice, had me doing scout stuff, and kind of got me going with it while I was finishing my degree. And then when I came back out here after I finished it, I started coaching AAU. Never thought I would coach AAU, but then I
Right.
started having fun with it. The X's and O's part of the game. I'm still
Yeah.
remember all my old players from Argentina, but then I had to kind of slow myself down because they can't get to the seventh option the way. So now you got to come up with quick hitters and sets that they can understand, and it became
Mhm.
challenging. I enjoyed it, just the whole process of scouting and stuff that I learned, at Purdue. It got my juices rolling in the AAU. Then I
Mhm.
became an assistant coach at Wakefield High School for 2 years. By my second year, I get a call saying, "Hey, we think you'd be a great coach here." I'm like, I don't know about the head coach. I'm all right this assistant coach thing on out. I kind of like having opinions, right? Assistant coaches are great at giving opinions because they ain't the one getting in trouble when it don't work. I kind of like this co-pilot seat. So I get a call and said they wanted me to come out there and coach and be a head coach. I'm like, South County, that sounds like a country club.
Right.
No,
It do. It
don't
really
know
do.
those guys I can coach, right?
Yeah.
But I get there and it's the opposite. Like,
Mhm.
oh, these are guys I can coach. Athletic, get up and
Mhm.
down. I said,
Mhm.
okay, let me. It was a newer school, built 8 years before I got there, so I said, let me see what I can do. So I get there, and
Yeah.
in the second year, the first year we struggled.
Mhm.
Something terrible. Because I had all
Right.
football guys that were athletes, but they just wasn't basketball players. But then my second year, I had a
Mhm.
guy named Quentin Malora Brown. He came back to the home school. I had some sophomores that were really good, and some talented guys, and we ended up winning the state championship my second year. And since then,
Right.
we won another one, but we've always been in contention every year to win one. Like, we're one of
Mm.
the 5 or 6 teams in the state every year that can win one. And that's a
Right.
testament to the guys that put in the work. And when you were at Llewellyn, Maryland, I had a couple kids that were really good too. Andre Spate, that was really good. That
Yep.
went to Mount St. Mary's.
Mhm.
And played D1 there, and I had a couple
Mhm.
other guys after that. Will Wilson went out to, actually, he's down in Houston playing the Division I school there as well. So I was blessed to keep getting talent. I got talent this year, and we've been
And you kind of mentioned earlier that you dabbled into AAU a little bit. AAU has changed significantly since you and I both played. And I want you to put your administrative hat on because it's a necessary evil. What would you do to change AAU and make it beneficial for players again and not cash cows for people who just want to make money off of kids?
first and foremost, I would get rid of all these circuits. And now you can have your shoe programs, but we're not doing circuits. Let's get the best of the best every week, and let's play against each other. And forget the circuits, Under Armour circuit. You can have your Under Armour team. They're just going to be in the same
Mhm.
circuit or the same tournament that this Nike team is going to be in. And you're going to be in the same tournament with this Adidas tournament going to be in. That's how we did it. We had the shoe programs as well. This is nothing new, but it doesn't need to be exclusive. Let's get back to these college coaches showing up to gyms and do the scouting. I think it's the college coaches are relying on a team takeover to produce 4 or 5 players from
Yep.
that team.
Mhm.
No, let's get everybody. Let's get these college coaches in the gym, and let's see if they can scout talent again. Get them out there. Get on the road. Let's get away from watching games online. Let's get there. Let's get out there and let's recruit with the field again. And it'll change a lot. And let's get rid of all these doggone tournaments, these meaningless tournaments that they
Absolutely.
have. Like, we don't
Mhm.
need 10 tournaments that means nothing.
You're right. Mhm.
We just need 5 or 6 of them. That's it. We
Yep.
need 5 or 6 of them. If you can't see a good player in 5 or 6 tournaments, then it means nothing. But they do it so they can just keep getting these teams to give money, and they have 10 divisions, so they can find a division. Oh, I'm playing in such and such this weekend, but yeah, you're in the D division though.
Yeah, you're in the D
You're in
circuit.
the back courts. Where nobody
You're
can
right.
come and watch. But yeah, you playing in the tournament. You played in May hoops, but you're in the back tournament though.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the best of the best. If junior can't play in the tournament, well,
Mhm.
junior need to play in that rec league back at home and get better.
Yeah.
I can also say I do believe they're training these trainers. There are some good trainers. Let's not get it twisted. But how are we going to have trainers when these guys don't know how to play the game? These guys don't know how to play the game, so it's killing the game.
Let's talk about that real quick. You do not get better and improve your game training 1v0. It's not possible. I don't know who started this. I see it's lucrative for some people. I've trained kids before, but I lead by saying this is not going to get you better unless you spend your time playing 4-on-4, 5-on-5, 3-on-3, full court, half court, competitive basketball. I cannot teach you instinct. I can't teach you any of these things that you need to know that's going to happen to you on the court because the game is going to move fast and you got to rely on your instinct. And if you can't do that, training don't matter. I want to get parents to understand that and to get kids back outside, back on the playgrounds, back in the community centers, competing on their own, playing unorganized basketball, picking their own teams, playing 32, playing 21, competing, learn. You remember you had to go to a park But when you picked your team, you had to be smart about who you picked. You
Mm-hmm.
you had to become a general manager at the age of 12 because you
Absolutely.
needed somebody that can rebound, you need somebody that can shoot, you need somebody that can defend. You couldn't just play with your homies.
And then when you show up to the park and somebody be like, yo, I got you. We up next. Who you on your team? Yeah, I'm gonna wait the next game because I know we won it down with y'all. So I'm,
All right.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. Y'all good?
Yeah,
Go
I'm
ahead.
waiting. Man, you was a general manager at age 12, man.
Absolutely.
You was figuring out who I can win with at 13, 14,
And
15.
and there are
And
some really
Mhm.
good trainers. I know a bunch of really good trainers.
Oh, yeah.
I know a
We didn't
bunch of them.
train. Let me say this, Mike. We didn't start training until we got to college. That's my first memory of training.
And I'm gonna let you know now. And I hated it. Like those individuals with the coaches, I hated it because I'm like, man, just give me four others. Let's go. 'Cause I wanted to compete. Like I didn't do good playing against a doggone chair in front of me. You know, that's not. I didn't need a cone. You know, I just wanted to.
Mhm.
I just wanted to, work on my game with me. And I worked on my game by being competitive.
Mike Robinson, if you could teleport into any moment in your past and talk to a younger version of yourself, what moment would you go to and what would you say to that Mike Robinson?
That's a great question. That's a great question. That's a great question. If I could go back to my younger self,
Mhm.
talk to me, I would tell myself it's okay to be patient. I would tell myself it's okay to be patient, to be okay with being humble. Just keep your head down. Just keep battling, keep fighting. Now my motto is God never wastes the work of a worker. When you did something, you expected results right away.
Mhm.
So now I would teach myself, my younger self, patience.
That's a great answer. That is an excellent answer. Do you think the city of Peoria really appreciates Mike Robinson Jr. the way that it should?
Well, AJ, honestly, I'm gonna answer this as honestly as I
Mhm.
can.
Mhm.
It's not the city of Peoria. It's my own fault.
Mhm.
That's me not coming back like I should have
Mhm.
uh, to embrace what I've done. Right? You've mentioned I've always kept to myself. Never been that person. Like even when I would put up unbelievable numbers some nights. I'm ordering Avanti's pizza and I'm going home watching the Bulls. So I wasn't that person that was just scoring points and then going out trying to hang out. That just wasn't me. I've always been kind of reserved, and the good thing about it is I had my family. Like I just didn't go home to myself. I went home to my family. I had a huge family. So some of you guys or some people may have thought I was arrogant or cocky. Well, I'm going to my grandma's house where 300 people over there. And well, I didn't have to do a lot of things because I had my family. And that's
Mhm.
what I grew up in was my family.
Great answer, man. And I don't think they appreciate any of us the way they should, but I definitely don't think they appreciate you with the way that they should. But it's great to take accountability for your part in it. But we, as a city, we have to do a better job of celebrating the greatness that came through that city in order for younger kids to aspire to become us. And that's one of the bigger problems we have in the city. They don't know who you are. They don't know who I am, and I work there, and they don't know who these people are who paved the way for them. Last question, man. One game for it all. Mike Robinson, you got to win this game to save you and your family's lives. Pick 4 players, past, present, or future, to play a game for your life. Who you choosing to go to war with?
MJ first. And, then- and,
Right.
and, and give me three others. I don't care.
Just you, Mike, and 3 other
Give
people.
me and three others. But if to answer the question fairly, I will
Yeah.
say MJ,
Mm-hmm.
give me Larry Bird,
Bird. Oh,
give me Magic Johnson,
Magic at the 1. 5.
and as I said, Magic, Larry.
Magic, Mike Robinson, Larry, and who at the 5? You got a hybrid 5. You
Oh,
got a
I'm going.
go.
I'm going to Elijah one.
Oh my God. I don't see too many people beating that team. I don't see too many people beating that team, man.
I'm
So
going to lie to you. I think me and my family gonna be safe.
there you
I know
go,
one thing.
man.
I know one thing. Mike better pass that ball because I need my attempts.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're gonna end up being Pippin. That's what you're gonna end up. That's what's gonna happen. One of my best friends in the game. Never thought we would be close as we are, as competitive as we were in high school, going up to college. But it turns out, that's what life is. You start to become friends with people who you competed with because you all fought for the same thing. So I love you, man. And you need anything from here, I'm the district athletic director here in Peoria, Illinois. So that means I have ownership over all the schools in our district. So if you ever want to do something here, man, make sure you reach out. We'll take care of you and make sure you can do what you need to do to give back to the community if that's what you
Appreciate it.
choose to do.
If there's
Mhm.
anything you ever need me to do, I'm there. Just say the word.
I appreciate you joining me. That's a wrap with Peoria basketball royalty, Mike Robinson Jr. I want everybody to follow the Shooters Corner podcast on Twitter, IG, YouTube, and TikTok at the Shooters Corner podcast. Listen, like, subscribe on Spotify and Apple. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, keep shooting for the love and not for the likes. Thanks, Mike, for joining me.